I want you to turn to Hebrews chapter 6. I read verses 13 to 20 in Hebrews chapter 6. When God made his promise to Abraham, since there was no one greater for him to swear by, he swore by himself, saying, I will surely bless you and give you many descendants. And so after waiting patiently, Abraham received what was promised. Men swear by someone greater than themselves, and the oath confirms what is said and puts an end to all argument. Because God wanted to make the unchangeable nature of his purpose very clear to the heirs of what was promised, he confirmed it with an oath. God did this so that by two unchangeable things, which is impossible for God to lie, we who have fled and take hold of the hope offered to us may be greatly encouraged. We have this hope as an anchor for the soul, firm and secure. It enters the inner sanctuary behind the curtain, where Jesus, who went before us, has entered on our behalf. He has become a high priest forever in the order of Melchizedek. We lit the first candle this morning for hope. Almost forgot. We're not hopeless. We got the candle going for hope. And hope can be a funny thing. Many people hope for things in various ways. For instance, most people hope the weather's nice, whereas Kathy hopes it snows. I always pick on Kathy about the snow. She's still counting money. That's good. That means there's a lot. Most of us, I think, hope that the Steelers win the Super Bowl. I hope the Steelers win the Super Bowl. I usually end up disappointed, but every now and then. Then we got Jimmy back there who hopes the Raiders win the Super Bowl. At least if they do, they won't beat us in the Super Bowl. They'll have to beat us to get there. And so, but some people hope for different things. Some of the kids probably hope they get a certain toy for Christmas, or they get toys for Christmas, or they get. I just hope they don't get something I have to take back. You know, and that happens sometimes. Like, oh wow, that's nice. You know. And so, and these sorts of things when we get what we hope for, we're excited for a little while, and then things go back to normal. If we don't get what we hope for, we're disappointed for a little while, but eventually things go back to normal. Just about anything I guess that we can hope for is going to bring a temporary excitement or a temporary letdown. And these are things we hope for, but hopefully none of us has put our hope in any of these things. As much as I want the Steelers to win, like every game, and I was a little bit bummed because we don't play today. And so I was looking for the time the Steelers play today, and I forgot they played Thursday. But that's a bummer, right? And so I have to watch the Steelers Sunday afternoon. But my life doesn't come crashing down when the Steelers don't win. I've known some people that when the Steelers don't win, the rest of the week it ruins it for them. It can't be that way. As much as we hope for that, it can't. Our hope is not in the Steelers. If they're not successful, it's okay. I realize that in that moment, it's not. Our life doesn't rise or fall based on what happens after the game. We just root for them. And these are types of worldly hope. But real hope, true hope, Bible hope, goes much deeper than this. We all know that God keeps his promises. If I were standing here and say, God keeps his promises, you'd say, no kidding. We know that. We know that. None of us would ever dispute that. But how do you really know this? Where's our guarantee that says, where's the guarantee that God says, I'll keep my promise and you have my word? Well, the writer of Hebrews explains this very nicely in this chapter. And he does so by going all the way back to Abraham. Everything goes back. Everything goes back. It starts with Abraham. What God did in redemption history goes back to Abraham. God made a promise to this guy, Abraham, that he redeemed his people, and he redeemed the people through him. He had a plan to deal with sin before he even spoke to Moses. Before he even gave Moses the law, he was going to step into history and become one of us. In order to experience the full wrath of sin, to suffer and die. And to do this, he needed a family. If God's going to come into the world and be a human being, he needs an avenue by which to make that happen. He needed a family. He needed a people. So he called Abraham. Now, Abraham didn't win a contest. He didn't sign up. He didn't enter a sweepstakes. God chose Abraham. For whatever reason, in God's infinite wisdom, he looked down and he's like, whole mess of people here. I want Abraham. And he called him. And he made a promise in the form of a covenant. And in those days, a covenant had two parties, or two people, the initiator and the recipient. The initiator would come to someone and say, hey, listen, I will do this for you. And then you're going to do this for me, and if I don't come through, if I don't hold up my end of the deal, I will cease to be. I will no longer be. I stake my life on it. They stake their life on these covenants. And the recipient would agree and make similar commitment to hold up their end of the deal. And there's always some type of sacrificial offering from both as a sign of their mutual commitment. They took this covenant thing very seriously. The only difference in this case is the initiator of the covenant is God. That doesn't happen very often, where God initiates the covenant with somebody. He made a covenant with Adam. He made a covenant with Noah. But this covenant he made with Abraham is for all of us. This was different. This was different. The God who created the universe comes to a guy named Abraham and says, listen, I'm making a covenant with you. I need your life. I need your life, Abraham. I need your family. I need your family. And I'm willing to put myself on the line to make sure this happens. This is God talking. Hebrews 6:13 tells us that when God made this promise to Abraham, there was nothing greater for God to swear by. So he swore by himself. God put his own self on the line. And you know what God eventually did? He put his life on the line, but you know what he did? He put it on the cross then too. Because somebody had to die in order for this covenant to be fulfilled. And God said, you know what? Because somebody has to die to make this covenant happen, I'll do it. You know what? You have people out there who are either master delegators or I'll get somebody else to do my dirty work. But you know what? There wasn't anybody for him to do God's dirty work. Our dirty work. God had to do it himself. I will bless you, Abraham, and give you lots of descendants. Keep in mind, Abraham's an old man at this point. Not any kids. So this is kind of a crazy promise. When you swear an oath, you have to swear by somebody greater than you. And God swears by himself. And then the way God set up this covenant is initiative. If God doesn't hold up his end of the covenant, he will cease to exist. Now we all know that's not possible. But that's how serious God is about this. He wants so badly to redeem his people that he takes the initiative to make a covenant. We didn't go to God and say, hey, God, we need to save like really bad. We're really under creek if we don't get saved. We need you, God. It didn't work that way. God looked down and said, these people need saved. And the only one that can do it is me. And I need a way for this to do it. In verse 17 says that God wanted to make the unchangeable nature of his purpose very clear for the heirs of what was promised. So he confirmed it with his oath. This promise wasn't just for Abraham. They talk about the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob. And so on down the line, right up to the God of you. There's a whole bunch of names in between that we don't have time to name. But the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and Plum, is this God, and he doesn't change. Later on, when Moses asked him his name, he said there's two things about God he wants us to understand that are unchangeable. When Moses asked, remember later on when Moses asked him, what is your name? And he said, I am. He simply is. God is the only one capable of self-identifying. You see, the world wants to self-identify and be anything they want to be. They can't do that. We are defined in relation to who God is. He self-identifies. And he has chosen to stake his very nature on this promise he makes to Abraham. His nature won't change. God simply is. The second one is it's impossible for God to lie. His word is true forever. He will never lie. He simply can't. He's God. If he said it, it's true. It'll be true forever. It was true 1,000 years ago. It'll be true 1,000 years from now. And this covenant he makes to Abraham all hinges on his very nature. In light of all this, and that's a whole lot of light, but in light of all this, verse 18 declares, we who have fled. Get that word in your head, fled. What does it mean to flee? If you're fleeing from something, you're literally running for your life. If the building's on fire, we're not going to be like, oh, it's on fire, it's in 10 minutes I think we're going to leave. No, we're going to flee. We're going to get out. We have fled. And to take hold of the hope offered us may be greatly encouraged. Just means we all need to get rid of all those other things that we hope for, or we hope in, and we need to let go of that and flee all that stuff to take hold of the hope we have in the promise God made to Abraham. Because we can't have hope in two different things. Our hope can't be in two different things. It's all our eggs have to be in one basket. Hopefully they better be in the God basket. You know, we have this hope as an anchor for the soul, firm and secure. That sounds awful like a song we're going to sing, but God is our anchor. And you know what an anchor does? That's a good picture of one. You know what an anchor does? It holds the boat in bed. When you get the boat parked where you want it parked, you put the anchor down and it embeds itself in the bottom of the sea, and it holds the boat there so it don't drift away. We need an anchor so we don't drift away with the tide. So we don't get carried away with whatever's going on around us. You see people doing that. You know, whatever the tide brings in, let's go this way. We gotta stay the course. The anchor, our anchor, enters the inner sanctuary behind the curtain of the Holy of Holies, where Jesus, who went before us, has entered on our behalf, and has become a high priest forever. Forever. There have been lots of high priests. Once God gave the law to Moses, later on the Levites became the priests. And they became a high priest. One of them became a high priest. And the Levites were of a certain order. But our anchor doesn't go into it goes into the Holy of Holies. Not the temple on earth. Not the temple the high priest would enter. But the temple in heaven itself. Do you realize what that means? If you're believing in Jesus and trusting only in Him for salvation, and all your hope rests on this promise, then you have an anchor. It doesn't just extend to the seabed. It extends into heaven itself. Heaven itself. Heaven, the place that when I say heaven, you close your eyes and picture. You're picturing pearly gates, streets of gold, probably clouds and God, and Jesus in His right hand. You're picturing all kind of wow, like the greatest thing you've ever seen. Our anchor is tethered right there if we're in Christ. That was God's promise to Abraham to redeem His people. That's our hope, which is far deeper than anything hope happens in the world. I mean, if you're hoping too much in something else, and you can look around and see people that are hoping in a whole bunch of stuff, then you can, if you're there, if you're in that camp where you're hoping in something else, prepare for disappointment, probably anger, because you're going to be weighed down. If the anchor isn't rooted in what needs to be rooted, it becomes dead weight, doesn't it? It simply becomes dead weight if it isn't rooted in heaven. I mean, and the question you have to ask yourself this morning is, what is your anchor holding to? Because what you're hoping is your anchor. What you hope in, when you wake up in the morning, whatever you're living for that day, is your anchor. But we have the hope of eternal salvation in Jesus Christ. The Hebrews tells us we have this hope as an anchor for the soul, firm and secure. Jesus fulfilled that covenant with Abraham. Hallelujah. He entered heaven. Heaven! To bring us this hope. He went where we couldn't go to make a way for us to get there. And if we're anchored there, we're not going to pull the anchor up. God's going to pull the boat in. That's better. That's better. He will come and take us to be with Him. That's why we light a candle for hope. Still burning strong. All of our hope is in Jesus. He's our anchor. Let's pray. Father God, we thank you, Lord, for this anchor we have. Lord, that isn't tethered to the bottom of the sea, Lord, it's tethered to heaven. Lord, and you're going to pull us all in someday. We thank you, Lord, for that promise, Lord. That is where our hope lies. Forgive us, Lord, if we've hoped in temporal things. Forgive us, Lord, if we've put too much stock in what the world has to offer. Lord, all of our hope is in you, Lord. You are our anchor. Be our anchor. Firm and secure. Lord, because we know the world has a lot of stuff to bring our way. And we can't get tossed about and turned about and turned all around. We need to be in you, Lord. So whatever the world brings, Lord, so be it. We're anchored in heaven. Lord, bless us now as we sing to you in Jesus' name.